And a bit of a hectic past couple weeks with the end of summer, kids back to school, getting ready for Germany and Gamescon and everything like that. So I wanted to hop on this because I haven't had a lot of time to make videos lately. And is this thing working? I'm sorry, I'm trying to see if I have access to this thing working here. Yes, okay. So I am in. So this isn't going to be a crazy live. I'm just packing up all my stuff for Germany, basically. And in doing so, it's, hey, how's it going, guys? So I'm just getting the final touches together. So Dequetum and I, obviously, as you guys know, we're heading out to Germany, or I'm heading out to Germany for Gamescon to be part of the booth and the event for Spriggan, which is a video game that I'm being featured in for like the Archer model class. So that's super exciting, and I'm getting ready to pack up the remainder stuff that I need in order to do our engagement and battle while I'm in there to meet with Dequetum and everything as well. Hey, thanks so much, guys. So basically, what I'm packing up in here is I have this giant tube, which you guys may have seen. I'm taking all my archery stuff in there and a few other things with slings, arrows, stuff like that. It's not very heavy, but to get anything over 62 inches on a plane is insanely expensive. So this is gonna be an expensive flight, that's for darn sure. So that's gonna be fun, but it's gonna be an experience well worth it, I would imagine, for sure, even if I get my butt kicked by Dequetum. So if you guys didn't know already, I got a few things planned out that I am bringing. I'm going to bring the 130-pound warbow to start. That's going to be like the entry as we kind of see how things go when we do our engagements and everything like that. I'm going to bring the 160-pound bow. And just because I have room, I might bring the 121-pound flat bow because those are faster, and I'm just curious how that's going to work if we want to try and mix it up a little bit, do a few things like that. I'm bringing the slings as well, so I have all those here. So I'm going to bring the one with like the hammock sling. I'm going to bring the split pouch Balearic sling as well. And then I'm going to bring this one here, which is the wool sling also. This is probably, this is a really good one here. So that's all going to go inside of that. He is making me armor as well. And so I'm going to do it. We're going to do a few things. The one thing that I'm kind of promoting large because I'm very excited about is the full plate battle, where Sir Gaines is going to do it. I don't know how we're necessarily going to format that because his content a lot of times, especially the battles and things, is a lot more serious. So we're probably going to do a few that's like just a serious like 2 or 3 minute video where it's like an engagement or battle, something like that. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and try and set it up to where who knows how things are going to go from there. But we have a lot of fun ideas planned. The arrows here, these are new arrows, so they're very good. These are 1/2-inch reinforced horn knock arrows. I haven't used these yet, and I have the tips basically removed from them because we're going to kind of customize and make some specific tips in order to try and test and see how we can make something dynamic and also safe at the same time when you're dealing with a heavier warbow against armor. So that'll be really exciting. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. That's kind of that big, exciting thing as well. 3 minutes of singles combat will feel like an eternity. Yeah, I'm sure it is as well. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. Hello from Scotland. So it's going to feel like an eternity. I've been doing a lot of training. I don't know if you saw the video I did, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm not posting because I have some training buddies. One guy's, I train with him. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. It's someone I've rolled with for a long time. And so we've competed with each other a lot, and he's solid. And so I run through stuff with him when I do the training with him as well. I do wear plate legs with like a 30-40 pound vest, and then I'll have the helmet on also. So I don't have good pauldrons and bicep plates to really kind of simulate what the range of motion will be in the battle. So that'll be a new thing for me as far as how limited that range of motion is. But the things that I'm doing to train for it are less range of motion intensive. So I'm trying to make sure I have less range of motion in that way. So I'm not trying to do any crazy things, right? I'm not going to try rubber guard or anything like that that has massive flexibility, because I know it's not there. But even just with the plate leggings I have that aren't super good, the range of motion is solid, and I do think there's a really good chance that I will hopefully be able to incorporate the game plan that I have there as well, or Sir Gaines rather, will be able to incorporate that also. So I'm incredibly excited about that. I also just want to do a live because I have had like no time to make videos like in the past 2 weeks. I just did one, which was like the family vacation one, and then prior to that, I think was the hype reel. So not like new content, but that's just because things have been crazy, right? Life's crazy. So I wanted to just do a live in case anyone has missed things. And then I've had quite a few people say, hey, I thought you stopped posting because I haven't seen your stuff in so long. And then they're like, I haven't seen anything for like 2 months. So YouTube's just finicky like that. So if you guys have missed that and I'm gone, I won't be able to do any new footage, you can go back and watch some of that back catalog stuff as well. One thing I did want to say also is he's on the chat right now, Justin Henley. So he's got a channel and he does and paints minis. So I'm gonna plug him right now just as a friend thing, because he's actually making custom miniatures for the D&D campaign for each of the characters that I have: Sir Gaines, Trollo, Vercingetorix, Slinger Sam, sorry. So I'm gonna be able to have those as well. So I'm super hyped about that. And so I'm working on a script for that as well. Time is not my friend right now, just with work and life and everything. So this is, again, a hobby. So I put as much as I can without jeopardizing other things in my life. But that's on the docket, and that's that next thing I'm gonna start incorporating. So I'm insanely excited to have some miniatures as well. So that's gonna be incredibly cool. Hey, what's up in Germany? I'm gonna be there very soon. Archery, safer, direct hit from even a rubber blunt or two, both sounds awful. Yeah. I should bring some dice, shouldn't I? That'd be super fun. No, I actually already have. Oh, hey man, yeah, Reen, he's helping me. He helps me kind of script some of the D&D stuff we've been working together. The first one I kind of did on my own. The second one, he's like, hey, can I give you some ideas? I'm like, great. So he's been helping me kind of script some of that out as well, and so that's been really fun also. And so I'm trying to think, Dequeedum's on board, so we're gonna try and figure a way to include him in the next session and playthrough. So I'll probably try and utilize some of that. We have a little bit of his part written out there as well. So I think that would be very funny if we're just out in the field rolling dice. It would just be a very funny thing to see, like the juxtaposition of someone in full plate rolling like a tiny little, like, D6 or probably 8. I think an 8 D1 we probably use for what he has as well. 600-inch rubber bed crossbow bolt. It's not awesome. Yeah, I don't imagine it would be awesome as well. But he's gonna be wearing armor. He's, I think we're probably gonna do a few shots just without him in it to see how it reacts and responds, because I don't think either of us necessarily know how that's gonna work. So we want to be sure to do it as safely as possible as well, but that's going to be a big part of one of the little featurettes we're working on as well. So that's going to be very fun. I'm bringing like Ranger garb, but I'm sure he's got like better quality non-fantasy romance stuff with the chest hair popping out. So I'm sure it'll up my historical game by a little bit, give me a bit of, a modicum of credibility in there. And then as for Gamescom, I don't know if anyone here is usually do an armor analysis of the armor of the various factions of Middle Earth film and TV. Okay, that would be very good. Yeah. So yes, so Gamescom, I am going to be there. So I wanted to talk to this about two things. One is Dequeedum, and secondly is Gamescom. So if you followed along for a little bit, I've been working with the developer, Insomnia Development, to help create a heavy archer class for their game, Spriggan. They've scanned me into the game, so they sent me a 3D scanner and I sent them the stuff, and they've been sending me artwork showing like the character in game. I think NPC, I don't know if I'm a playable character or a trainer in game, but it's my likeness in the game, and they were giving me grief because like your hair is so hard to render. But they invited me to go there and be a part of their booth, basically. Good morning, my dude. Oh, thank you so much. Sorry, dang it. Sorry, I tried. I tried. Um, but thank you. Anyways, so I'm gonna be there in their booth, and so I'm gonna bring the bow as well. I think it'll be okay. I don't know if they want me stringed or unstringed, but I'm gonna be there, and I'll probably be just wandering around the floor as well, promoting the game, but also just chit-chatting and trying to make some connections with some people out there. It's gonna be a completely new thing for me, because I've never really gone to a gaming convention or E3 or even like, Comic-Con or anything like that. So it's gonna be very overwhelming. I'll probably try and get a little liquid courage because that's definitely outside of my comfort zone to get a little more loosey-goosey. So that's new, but I think that'll be really fun. So if anyone's going to Gamescom, just feel free to keep an eye out because that's going to be very fun. And if anyone, recognize me or wants to say hi, I would love it because I'm going and it's just going to be a different world altogether. So a familiar face or even a familiar name is going to be opposite. It's going to be great. Bring a notebook for autographs too. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, I could do that. That's fun. I mean, it's funny. I don't think that I'm not in that tier in my mind where I would need an autograph book. I think that maybe I'll get recognized like once or twice. I do really want to try and go talk to Viva La Dirt because I know they're there, and that would be like a huge like bucket list for me, just to kind of meet with them and everything. So I really think that would be very fun to see with them. So that's my goal, is to meet people, make some connections, and then see if I can find the guys from Viva La Dirt, and chat with them because their stuff is great. And a lot of like the humor and things I think in my video comes from like the root of, the way that they did it first, kind of breaking that, I think, into that mold of gaming humor and RPG humor. And so they're a huge, inspiration for a lot of what I do. And I just think they're the best at what they do with their production quality and everything like that. So Gamescom is going to be great. And that's going to be my intent while I'm there. It's just have fun, meet some people, and make some friends, make some connections, right? That's going to be a really fun thing. And the other cool thing is I am going to be going with my wife. My mom was kind enough to watch my boys while we're there, so it's going to be like a little vacation as well. So she'll be there, and she's much more outgoing than I am, so she'll probably get far more friends than I will just because of who she is. Not in costume though. I don't think she's going to do that. But we're also trying to think of a few ways to try and do something with these while we are out there as well. We got a few ideas and different ways in which we can incorporate the sling. I'm going to bring Slinger Sam's attire as well because that's easy to travel with. He doesn't have any armor, just that little tunic. So I think it'd be great to have Slinger Sam out there as well. So I'm excited to bring him along. Ranger and Sir Gaines is going to look a little bit less, you won't be able to, tell who he is as much because, he's going to be rocking some plate armor and probably have a helmet for the first time because protect the face when you're actually using weapons in combat, Do you think that video about tactics used against dwarfs? Against dwarfs, huh? Saying went to Greece and now Germany, yeah. Needs to be a comic book. Trollo is definitely going to be as well because all Trollo needs to do is just not wear a shirt. So we have a few ideas. I have an idea. I really want to make sure Trollo's a part of this whole endeavor as well. I think he's one of my favorite characters and one of my favorite people. So we may not use the axe, but I think that with Trollo you have like the Lima, right, or Lima, the Scandinavian type wrestling. So we'll probably do something along those lines with him as well because I don't know. Am I named after the Star Wars character? Yes, I am. The Star Wars character Dash Rendar, that kind of became the staple for just my name when I was younger. That was my favorite expanded universe book. I read Shadows of the Empire when I was younger, and then I loved the game for 64. And that just became the name of every RPG character I ever created. So it was always Dash Rendar. That was the name that I used. And so when I created a YouTube channel, I just kind of stuck with that theme, just to kind of have that name, because I thought he was a great, cool scoundrel character, and I really wanted to really wanted to just nerd out. And so I love it when people pick that up, you know. Yeah, no, that is not my birth name. It would be a pretty awesome birth name, but no. Why horse archers are overpowered, pay to win. Yeah, I mean, I think I would love to do horse archery or even talk about it a little bit, because it really is like it's like a cheat code or a hack in early times. You had such great mobility and ability to move and just fatigue your opponents. And it really was like the mecca of where archery succeeded the best. To be able to hit targets, I've seen even videos nowadays of the Mongolian archers that still train where they have a bag, they pull behind a horse, and they'll be on the horses chasing it down, and their goal, it's like 20 feet behind the horse, and as they're riding, they're hitting that bag. And it's astounding to me, the level of skill that you have to be such a good rider, and then couple that with archery, and then of course, you know, the bows they used were you know, superior composite bows as well. So you had range, speed. It's a crazy, crazy world, and they really perfected it. And it was just like, you know, pay to win, DLC, exactly. Do you prefer Yoda or Luke Legends? So I like Legends Luke. I feel like when he started the Jedi Academy, and then Jade Skywalker, was that it? Like he lived, like, in my opinion, Luke Skywalker lived a full life, and I loved the Legends account of his life and as he grew and everything. Not necessarily the non-canon, what I consider Star Wars, but I think that he really he had a good character arc, a good story development, and it was great to see a character you enjoyed about kind of go into that next stage and not just go straight from optimistic hero to hermit and angry person. Actual name, I tend to keep that hush hush for autonomy. I'm sure it'll find its way out there as well. When I did House of David in Greece, in the credits, it flashes by super quick, but it did credit my real name there as well. But as far as that, I you know, there's a few people who know who I am just because they follow along and they saw me on House of David, like, oh, is that you? But as far as for YouTube and everything, I keep it, you know, quiet. But it probably won't be hidden forever. But for all intents and purposes, on any social space or anything, I'm definitely Dash Rendar, because that's the hero, the hero I aspire to, the scoundrel with a heart of gold. With some horse, yeah. So that'd be great to do a horse archer thing for sure. No self-doxing. Yeah, exactly. Kudos to keeping it for a family balance night. Oh, thanks so much, man. That's been the most difficult thing, I think, is the question was work-life balance, and you know, he was being very kind, saying he appreciates how I do that. And it's in a way difficult, because I do think that YouTube, if you guys have ever created something or written, let's even say, it's like your headspace starts to gravitate towards like the passion, and it takes up a lot of headspace. Like when I'm thinking of a script or I'm editing a video or something, it's like it's hard to disconnect from that. And so I feel like I have to be very purposeful with making sure it doesn't take up too large a portion of my life. That's for something that's just a hobby, right? There's so much that's so much more important, and it's easy to get consumed by something that's fun, but doesn't necessarily bring value to the family around you, and that's the most important thing for me. So just doing like the little video of the vacation thing, that was one of my favorite things, because I didn't go into it expecting to make a video on how to make slings, but my wife was like, you should film yourself making the slings and make a video. I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun. But most of that was just candid fun. Like, we were just learning how to do that. The kids were great. My wife picked it up, and like I was saying in the video, if you guys saw it, we made all those slings. So I made 5 slings. well, one for each of us, because I forgot to bring them, and I'm like, oh, I have some, 35-pound cord. I think I can make a few. And so then I just made the slings and everything, and we had so much fun. We were playing horse. My wife got good in a short time, and she's uber competitive, and so we'd have to try to like, okay, we're gonna hit that rock, and then that would have to be the one we go. And she got good, and there was a few times her rocks don't go fast, is what I say. As I'm like, you're not gonna kill anyone with that. You'll maybe slightly inconvenience them. But she got very accurate, and when I sling, I always try to go for power and speed because I'm always trying to improve on that, and I'm not as accurate that way. So she did beat me one time, and she was very happy about that. She's like, "Oh, you do this your whole life," and so she loves to do that. Arrows and Armor 3. No, I'm not going to be in. I'm not going to be in Arrows versus Armor 3. That would be, I don't think they need me. They got some great archers out there. Joe Gibbs, obviously. And then there's another guy out there that I'm friends with on Instagram. I don't remember his name, so I apologize. But he does very heavy bows as well. And he helps teach the masterclass with Joe Gibbs because they do a heavy bow masterclass. And so I think he's going to be involved in it also. So they have some of the best archers in the world out there, and they got people who are there. They don't need to transport them, and so they're going to be well equipped to do that without my help. It would be really fun, and that's definitely a bucket list thing to go do something with Todd and then also meet Joe Gibbs. But that's not something that's in the plans for the near future, unfortunately. Episode 2 D&D. Thanks, man. Yeah, I think I was able to learn a lot, and I do think that was I was helped with, he's in the chat, RHI, Bran. He helped me. He's a DM. He's out in Ireland. And we shared a Google document, and I would type it up, and he helped put some insight in there. So I think it made it a little quicker, a little snappier. I think I got better with the overlays and everything as well. So D&D episode 3 is coming, but that won't be for a little while, just because probably the next month, I would imagine, is going to be Gamescon type content and then Dequeedum content as well. I think we'll probably get 3 or 4 videos. I have one day with him before I have to go, and so we're just going to maximize our time as much as possible and just be out there. Probably like an 8-10 hour day. I'm ready to just go. So I literally land in Germany, and then I'm driving like straight out. So it's going to be completely jet lagged. And so if I lose, it's because I'm jet lagged. If I win, it's because I'm vastly, vastly superior in all things. Do you think you will take YouTube Professional as in your main revenue? No, I don't think so. I think that just from the way that it's worked for me and the way I think it works for other creators, it's so random, and you cannot project earnings onto your livelihood based on what the algorithm does or whatever, because you can have a huge subscriber count and your video can still get 4,000, 5,000 views if it doesn't fit that criteria. And so for me, I want to continue to do stuff and make content that I enjoy without trying to chase the algorithm, and I don't think that's ever going to be overly profitable. For me, as long as I get some cool free stuff and then get a little bit of earnings and get great opportunities, that's good enough for me, for sure. And so I don't think I have the structure in order to do that. And I think a lot of times you have to find a way to jump into things, either be diversive or you have to kind of cause drama, talk about current topic events, political, and like those are things I just have no interest in talking about or even, in life necessarily. I like my little bubble. So I'm going to stick with the bubble that I like, and that's weapons testing, gaming content, nerdy stuff, TTRPGs, and all that. So I think it's definitely gonna be that way. So I don't think so. It's not gonna be the way that I'm gonna move that up. So I haven't got a set of armor from the unsub crew yet, unfortunately. And I've talked with them a little bit, but we haven't really made anything there. So thankfully, from sheer generosity, Dequeedum he's got some armor he's borrowing from a friend. He's making me leggings as well, plate legs. So he's making those for me. So it's going to be great. He's making arms for me also. So he was telling me he's put in like 10 hours doing this, and I'm so incredibly grateful for his hard work just to be able to make something fun together. And so it's based on his generous use of his time that we're gonna be able to make this happen. And so I'm grateful for that. So that's why I don't mind, paying an extra $300 to bring my bow on. And just so you know, if you travel with anything over 62 inches, your overcharge, even if it's not heavy, is $300. So I doubt I'll make that back on my YouTube videos. But again, it's a small price to pay for what I consider to be an amazing life experience, and meeting someone who I've been friendly with for a while in person and then promptly trying to knock each other out. I do think that maybe after this, I don't know if maybe I'll do it on Patreon or something like that, but I have a lot of behind the scenes training footage. So I don't want to show that because I really do, like when I competed in any, whether that was wrestling or jiu-jitsu or even boxing, like I would always have a game plan, right? So I would always drill specific move sets that I want to do just really well, so it's second nature. So I have a few specific things that I really want to try and incorporate to kind of steer the battle in what I would consider to be my favorable position. And so I have videos of us working together with like the armor and the striking pads and everything as well, to try and show how we're training for that. So maybe that's something I'll share after our engagement, but that's the one advantage I think I do have, is that I've seen a lot of the way he fights, and that doesn't mean I have any real, it doesn't mean I'm like, oh, I know how he fights. He'll probably hit me with stuff I've never seen or thought of before, but I do think I've seen a lot of the way that he moves, and I've kind of created a game plan around the way in which I think I can utilize those movements to maximize my chance to use what I want and steer it in my direction. And it could just all go sideways, like what Mike Tyson's, everyone's got a plan until you get hit in the mouth. So if I get my bell rung real hard, I may panic, make mistakes, look silly, but I'm completely okay with that. If he completely obliterates me, it'll be a great learning experience. And that would be something that's very exciting because it's a different world from anything I've ever done. So I'm always happy to learn, even if that means losing. That's the only way you learn is by trying something new. So it's going to be a great experience for sure. Yeah, that's the goal. Keep it hidden for sure. How to meet people, network within YouTube. I have no idea. International travel shipping is no fun. I fully agree. Big fan from sure. Sorry, I'm going to read this real quick. With the duel, also, I'd love to help with the video editing. What's the best way to get in contact? If you want to get in contact with me, check out Instagram as well, or you can join the Discord as well. Oh man, thank you. Thank you so much. Listening to the rest of the drives helped me keep my balance. You are amazing. Thank you so much for your generous donation, my friend. That was incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. As far as, going back, just so you know, if you've never gone on a live stream, it's like trying to chase a rabbit. I go all over the place based on what the comments say. So it's not gonna be cohesive. If you watch it back, like after I've done this and you don't see the comments, it'll probably just look like a crazy person rambling to myself. But if you want to get in contact, thank you. Yeah, Dash Rendar's Rangers is great. We have a Discord community, about 130 people there. I think I may have promised that if we get to 1,000, we're gonna invade. Where are we gonna invade, guys? I forget. We're gonna invade a country. If we get to 1,000 people, we're gonna rally the troops and go on a quest. But yes, Iceland. There we go. Yes. If we get to 1,000, we're invading Iceland. But that's a great way to get in contact with me because I do check it. And then Instagram is good too. But just let me know if you reach out to me on there, Garnish and Gains, because Instagram's super weird. If you write a message, it like goes to hidden. And then if you're on Instagram, if you go to hidden, it's just, if you go to your hidden tab, it's just like a plethora of like bots like with the nastiest. It's really unfortunate that Instagram has such a problem with that, but sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle. So just let me know if you want to reach out that way. So I appreciate that. Yes. So Iceland, Ireland. I don't know. We're going somewhere. If we get 1,000 people, we are definitely going somewhere, and we are going to engage there. We're going to bring the pain. And so that's going to be, and I'm popping back now to Queedom. So I think that afterwards, like on Patreon or something, because I don't know if it's going to be super engaging to watch, but if it comes together well and people are interested, I'd love to kind of show how the game plan was planned. And then it'd be interesting to see after the battle happens or the fight happens, if I was able to do what I wanted to do, or if it all just went out the window. Because sometimes you can have a really solid game plan, and then if it's not drilled enough properly, or they start moving in ways you don't expect, you really can't do it. So I think it'll be fun because I've been kind of saving all those videos and the different things I'm doing to see if I'm actually able to hit those, or whether or not they're just going to fall apart when I do, in fact, meet him in person and we actually do that and there's weapons in hand. The poll so far for which weapon you guys most want to see, I am very happy, is still so far the winner is the poleaxe, which is really what I'm vying for personally. We'll do a few things. Obviously, that's not going to be the only one, but I do think that a short poleaxe is going to give me the best ability to try and utilize what I want, because the shield in hand, I think, would really be better for someone who's trained with shield and sword and shield and mace. And I think for me, it's going to be closing distance, and that will make it a lot harder for me to try and incorporate what I want to do, you know? Elf and Lord of the Rings. Oh, man. Now you're going to put me on the spot here, because the only one I can think of offhand is Legolas. I mean, honestly, when I go into Lord of the Rings lore, I think the things that I like the most is not the elf. I like the Dunedain Rangers and their story as well. They have a very cool history, and I like the idea that they were like the ones that worked in the shadows and kept like the Shire safe, because you know the world around it, there's giant wolves, there's all this stuff, and the Shire was always safe because of the Dunedain Rangers working in the shadows. And I like that as like the archetype as a hero, because I feel like that's the one that I most think is the best way to look at what a hero is one who does good without looking for praise or affirmation. And we're basically doing good without anyone knowing that they were a part of what was happening. And so I tend to do that. I think that elves tend to be a little more egotistical, and I mean, naturally they live forever, they train for thousands of years. It's hard to, you know, give them grief for the confident or pompous air that many of them tend to have. But I think that I like the idea of humans in a fantasy world, because they're woefully underpowered most of the time. So anytime you have a human in like a fantasy world, they're like on the back foot, and they either need to be scrappy, resourceful, train a specific way, and be, you know, the underdog. So I think that makes things a little more compelling oftentimes, because they usually are outclassed in almost every front. You know, if you go anywhere, the humans are basically the lower tier of the heroes. They don't care. Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be what's going on. I am finishing the packing and getting ready to leave very soon. But I really wanted to do one little more live, just to kind of get everyone on the same page, I guess, with what's going on, the next steps. I'm going to be like, in a way, going dark for probably a week and a half, I would think, because I am going to be traveling, but I am going to be doing content and making, I hate the word content. I'm going to be making videos with friends. Content sounds so dumb. I'm going to be making videos with friends in that time, and then when I come back, I'll have a lot of fun stuff to release and share with you guys, but it's going to be probably a little bit of time. So I tried to like incorporate, you know, new videos every Saturday, but it's difficult to like gauge that. And then when I finish a video, I tend to want to post it as it is. So like the scheduling thing has not been my strong suit. I will fully say That is a fact on my part. How do I join? I can't find. So if you want to join the Discord, go to one of my videos, and on the bottom there should be a link. So just go to any recent video, and then on the description it should have a thing that says join Rendar's Rangers, and from there it should be an invite link. And if you can't find it, let me know. You know what's there. So about iron, I learned a lot. Oh, that's really great. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Shrimi. Yeah, I think that was probably from the cast iron pan video, I think, where I talked about how iron was made, cast iron, wrought iron, the differences in that. Iron's a super cool thing. It's just so brittle and so heavy. But when I get back as well, I have another few things planned. It's going to be, I got some new weapons from Cult of Athena. That was all Roman themed, so it's going to be kind of how they trained. It's going to be a quasi fitness video, but I'm going to use the Roman Legion as like my template as well. So I think that'll be a good way to kind of do another somewhat fitness-ish video, but also have a fun historical slant on it as well. So that's the goal there. But I have to go to the bank and exchange some money and and get everything else packed and ready to go. And me and my wife are going to go on an adventure. I'm gonna go fight a boss and then go to Gamescon and hopefully have an amazing time meeting some really cool people. So thank you guys all just for being patient as I'm kind of scattered with my posting schedule and engaging with everything that I do. It's been so fun to just be a part of this community with all of you. And I will keep you posted. I'll probably post some like community post things, but for videos, that's gonna be a little while until I get anything refined. And then we're probably gonna film stuff together and he'll send me footage and I'll have to bring that in and edit that as well, because we'll have his camera and my camera, my phone. Thankfully, iPhones make a pretty good camera, but his is much better. And then we'll put that together and release those concurrently, or on alternating days and stuff like that. So all the fitness videos, yeah, quasi fitness, yeah, exactly. I might do something to help you with your Roman training video do better. Okay, all right, that sounds good. So anyways, the journey begins as I'm going on my flight, I think tomorrow morning. And then as I land, we're gonna do some fun stuff. And then we're gonna do Gamescom and then travel and adventure and enjoy. But be good, behave as I'm gone. Have an amazing day with family and friends. And thank you for just being a part of this. And I will talk to you guys probably from Germany. I'll send a post there when I land. So have fun, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Oh.